Let's expand on this and to get more on the agreement that's been reached between politicians here in Washington to avert a budget and default catastrophe. Kevin Surley, finance reporter for Politico, joins me here in the studio. And attorney and radio host Adam Thompson joins us from New York City. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. And Kevin, I'd like to start with you first. You know, we have this agreement. Is it good for now? And then is it back to square one at the beginning of the year?
Elaine, thanks for having me. And I got to tell you, they hit the pause button, right? And so we're going to be taken into mid-January for the continuing resolution budget agreement. And then the debt ceiling, America will hit it in mid-February, though we could have a prolonged effect because of extraordinary measures that our government officials could use. So we could be having the debt ceiling debate next summer, but the budget debate in January. I expect we'll have similar conversations around both of those times.
And Adam, let's get to you in New York City, because people want to know, are we going to be hearing the same arguments, basically what they agreed upon this time around? Are they going to have to agree on this again, the same issues over again?
Thanks for having me on, Elaine. Nothing really got accomplished. I think the first guest said it really clearly. They hit the pause button. All the problems that we had to deal with and resolve at this point are just really left hanging in the air. They really resolve nothing. We're going to be coming back here in a few months, and we're going to be doing this all over again. You could have the Republicans and Tea Party members going after Obamacare all over again. You have arguments on what needs to get cut, about budget issues. Should the debt ceiling get raised? It's going to be the same thing except in January and February. This has really been a real black eye on American politics. If there isn't anybody out there watching that thinks that the White House working with Congress and the Republican and Democrats isn't a broken system, they're missing the whole point, because the big picture is this isn't working now. It isn't working.
Well, and Adam, you're in New York City. You happen to be in our NASDAQ studios. Certainly, everyone on Wall Street has been watching what's happening down here in Washington.
Well, of course, Wall Street keeps their eye on this because they're concerned that what's this going to do to our economy? How's it going to affect the stock market and most of all, people's confidence? And do you think people in this country really have a lot of confidence in the leadership right now, that Republicans and Democrats, and don't think this just goes back to the last few months that we've been watching and the government being shut down for 16 days. This conversation's been going on since 2010, 2011, and we basically had 6 or 7 different groups, committees put together to try to resolve this, and it's never happened. So right now, American confidence is low in our officials, but what effect does this have internationally? How do people overseas look at us? I mean, they have to look at our government and say, it isn't working, and the confidence in the dollar has to be questioned, particularly if they downgrade us, which is a possibility.
Well, let's get to that. You know, Kevin, look, he said confidence in America, but clearly there won't be a lot of confidence looking outside of America. Talk about the immediate economic impact. We are hearing big numbers, but also the long-term impact with this and what we're seeing down the road.
Well, you know, that's a great question. And I think that most analysts that I speak to will say that this could lead to a 1.4 growth reduction in GDP if there was a longer term type of shutdown. So it'll be interesting to see those numbers. But I got to tell you, I was interviewing a small business folks who this couple, they wanted to launch a new company right ahead of the holidays, you know, to hire 20 employees. They've been focusing on getting a loan for the past couple of months, and they couldn't get it. It froze. It froze, and that's the direct impact that is being impacted for folks who are trying to get those loans, but the system is frozen, and that reverberates and has repercussions and trickle-down effects for local folks. So yeah, we talk about Wall Street, yeah, we can talk about Washington, but it's the average Joe family that isn't going to be able to get those loans from the bank as we're inching out of a recession to put more money back into the economy and stunt growth.
Well, and don't you think that people will be less likely to do anything knowing that we're seeing more of the same arguments, more of the same votes down the road?
Well, you know, there is something to be said that the only thing certain is uncertainty. I just was interviewing a Wall Street analyst who spoke to that sentiment and said, actually, as much as the bickering and the partisan politics that we've seen, well, we had the exact same outcome that everybody thought we would, and that is Congress kicked the can down the road, delayed the problem, and came up with a short-term temporary solution, just like everybody thought. So it's a lot of theater.
All right, Kevin Cirilli here in Washington, Adam Thompson in New York City. We appreciate both of you. Thanks for joining us here on this show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again.